second year, extend my warm welcome to Honorable VC Sir, Professor N. Nagaraju, respected Deputy Registrar Sir, Professor Charan Pati, esteemed Professor Dr. Kamdev Sahu Sir, Head of the Department, Dr. Anjali Tripathy Ma'am, the entire faculty members, and ex-students and students. The School of English is honored to have all of you present in this virtual event named That Time of the Year, celebrating the legendary dramatist of all time, Sir William Shakespeare's birth anniversary. Regarded as a bard of Avon, Shakespeare was a poet, writer, actor, dramatist, and the co-owner of Lord Chamberlain Drama Company at a stretch. Though Shakespeare received just a formal education at a grammar school, most probably of 6 to 7 years, he still occupies a unique position in the world of literature. His works include 154 great sonnets, 38 dramas, and two long narratives read worldwide. He managed to achieve sky-high success and is considered as England's national poet. Before we proceed with the event, I would take the honor to request esteemed Vice Chancellor Sir to share some inspiring words with us. Sir.
Good morning. I am the head of the Department of English, colleagues in the department, dear students, Dr. Pati, and all the members of the GMU University who have joined this talk. I think the Department of English or the School of English did good by organizing today's webinar, though a bit late. I think most of the universities, most of the departments in English, they organize this day being Shakespeare's important contribution to literature, particularly the English literature. And hello, Dr. Anjali, I am audible? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. What's important is, it's not that we are celebrating an English playwright or the playwright of a country which colonized it. It's not that we do that. But what is important is Shakespeare is studied in tropical ways or in Asian countries too. And there are a number of essays which have been published which speak of Shakespeare, our contemporary, Shakespeare, the tropical dramatist, and Shakespeare, the post-colonial Shakespeare, which only means Shakespeare, as times progress, as criticism evolves, Shakespeare too is read in that light. We all know Ian Scott's famous essay, Shakespeare or Contemporary, and Harish Trivedi too has done his work on Shakespeare's relevance to Indian literary sensibility, particularly modern Indian literary sensibility. So it's good that Department of English is organizing this webinar on Shakespeare. The only thing is that in future, in coming months, I would urge the department or the School of English as is known here today, I would urge them to plan much in advance, and a particular aspect of Shakespearean plays or Shakespeare, the dramatist, may be taken up for a critical study so that students and those interested in literature get benefited. We have a number of scholars, particularly in Calcutta and Delhi. We have a number of scholars who are keen to talk, who have been exceptionally good in Shakespearean studies. I think let's tap those sources and try next year onwards on a, celebrate on a bigger scale and more organized way. I really don't know how many of you are speaking today, but I think in a very short time, Dr. Anjali Tripathi has made this effort to organize the webinar. I think I compliment her and the colleagues in the department and the students. I look forward to a very fruitful talk. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next, I would like to request Honorable Deputy Registrar, sir, to speak a few words of inspiration. Sir.
Thank you, Aishwarya. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Esteemed Vice Chancellor, sir, Dr. Kamdev Sahu, sir, all the dignitaries who have joined this program, head of the Department of English, all my colleagues from the School of English, students, research scholars, and everyone associated with this particular program. Thank you very much for inviting me to this occasion. I was listening to our VC sir, the way he appreciated your efforts. Let me take this opportunity to appreciate the School of English, particularly the students of English, for two important reasons. The first one is that this is an innovative program, and you have taken the lead. The students of School of English have taken the lead to organize a centenary program like this anniversary celebration of Shakespeare. And second important reason for which I must appreciate your efforts is that you can see the number of attendees who have joined this Google Meet program. It is close to 100, 97. So this is the first program and it's very popular program if I go by this number. This is an indication. We are also thankful to all of you, the students of English, because you people have organized this. I got a call 2 days back from Sanskruti when she wanted me to join this program, and without any hesitation, I said yes, because this is the department is doing for the first time. This is a big program, and secondly, the students are organizing this program. Thank you very much. Being a part of the university administration, one thing I want to say that this is basically what we want to see in our students. Organizing a program by the faculties or the university administration is not that a big deal. But when students are at home, being deprived of attending classes and organizing a program online, virtual program through the Google Meet, and attending the attendance is 100. Now I can see 100, full capacity is showing. It's not that easy to do, but we have done it. We have proved that anything is possible. A pandemic kind of a situation is not going to deter our efforts or our interest. So thank you very much. On behalf of the university administration, we are always open to such kind of innovative programs, such kind of engagements that the students are coming up with, and our VCSR is very much interested to engage students and to organize such kind of programs in a big way. So let's take it as the first step. And since a lockdown is coming up the day after tomorrow, let's utilize this time this way, this productive way, so that other students of other schools also take cue from you and organize such programs on big personalities or popular personalities, so that our students get inspired and the next
Yeah, hello.
Please continue, Aishwarya.
Yes, sir. Now, I take the opportunity to invite our very own Dr. Kamdev Sahu, sir, to enlighten the event with his inspiring and heart-touching words. Sir.
Please unmute yourself, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself.
Hello.
Sir, please turn on your microphone.
Hello, hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible now, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not very much acquainted with this all these things. Okay, thank you. A very good morning to all of you. Esteemed Professor Nagaraju, Vice Chancellor Gangadhar Meher University, esteemed Professor Anjali Tripathy and her colleagues, Professor Charan, Pati, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. It's really a great honor on my part to be a part of this program. I congratulate all the organizers for organizing this program at very short notice. You are celebrating Shakespeare. It's a very good thing. Being a student of literature, I would like to share my association with this great artist, great playwright and poet. As a student, high school student, I was introduced to Shakespeare through Charles Lamb's Odia version of Tales from Shakespeare. Then I switched over to science, and as a science student, intermediate science students, I didn't have the opportunity of reading Shakespeare, but I watched a film, Romeo and Juliet, that was by Franco Zeffirelli. So that film I enjoyed a lot. Later on, I switched over to English honors, and my head of the department, Professor Nityanand Nayak, a very eminent professor, a very eminent teacher, who is a teacher of eminence, not only in say English, he has knowledge of Sanskrit and Hindi and Odia and other literatures also. He taught me Merchant of Venice and Antony and Cleopatra. So I remember my student days as an honor student. I was very curious about, particularly about one character, that is Shylock, and how Shakespeare, as an artist and as a man who is a Christian and who has his own prejudices against the Jews, how he could manage to do with this particular conflicting situation. And my teacher, Professor Nityanand Nayak, very elaborately and very lucidly explained that, and taught me how Shakespeare could be such a great artist dealing with such a situation or such a character. During my PG stage, I had the opportunity of being taught by a great teacher like Professor Prafulla Kumar Pati. He used to teach us Shakespeare, and I was taught again, apart from Antony and Cleopatra and Merchant of Venice, we were taught Twelfth Night, and then Macbeth, and then Hamlet, and then The Tempest, and many other plays, of course, which were not prescribed. I got the opportunity of reading those plays. We were also taught criticisms on Shakespeare by A.C. Bradley, John Dover Wilson, S.B. Charlton, and then Elsie Knight, and then G. Wilson Knight, S.C. Sengupta, M.C. Bradbrook, T.S. Eliot, John Cott, and many others, many others. So, say in this way, I was introduced to Shakespeare, but till date, even now, I am a student of Shakespeare, and Shakespeare has been an enigma to me. At times, I fail to understand. I enjoy, no doubt, but I fail to understand. I grapple with the different aspects of Shakespeare. Hamlet still is a problematic play, so far as I am concerned. I once again thank you all for making me a part of this beautiful program. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Let's continue with the celebration. Now, I hand over the charges to my junior Simran Tripathy, a UG first year student. Over to you, Simran.
Thank you. Hello everybody, good morning. This is Simran Tripathy, a student of UG first year. And with due respect, I once again welcome you all to this event. So, a poor country boy, poorly educated, having learned less small Latin and less Greek, evidences of whose basic education are still not known well, one day rose to the title of England's national poet. And today we are celebrating him, his life and his times. And just a few hours of discussion won't be enough to discuss this great literary figure. Still, we've tried our best to organize this virtual meeting, and thank you to everyone who joined in. Justifying this title, that time of the year that we have kept in his honor, I would say that no, this meeting is scheduled in that time of the year when everything is reviving itself. The veins of life crippled by the winters are slowly getting relaxed in springly fashion. But at the same time, this meeting is organized in that time of the year when we are all locked up in the four walls of our home. It's the pandemic situation where life is completely uncertain. And here I would like to remind you all that neither are our situations good nor were Shakespeare's. Scrolling through the pages of history, we can know about the cumbersome plague that hit England repeatedly during Shakespeare's time. But he took all this to his own benefit and created loads of immortal creation. We should take him as our idol and try to take this time of the year to our advantage. We, as a student and enthusiast of literature, should use this dire situation to boost our creativity, to read more, to write more, and to learn more. With this, I would like to hand over the meeting to Preety.
Thank you, Simran. Good morning, everyone. My name is Preety Lavanya, student of UG first year. My co-host Simran just talked about the bubonic plague that had hit England several times during Shakespeare's lifetime. I would like to throw some light on how the lockdown bound Shakespeare to be creative in between the deadly plague. Life and death scenario similar to the current pandemic situation. In this situation, a 3 months old baby was saved by a couple. The baby is known to the world today as William Shakespeare. In the year 1592, an outbreak of bubonic plague leads to closing of theatre and forcing Shakespeare to explore new outfits for his creativity. He wrote the narrative poem Venus and Adonis, a love story in verse describing that love was so beautiful and pure. At this time, he wrote some of his most popular and famous plays, namely King Lear, Macbeth, Antony and Cleopatra. The play gave Shakespeare ample time to devote to his writing. It gives us hope that even between the pandemic, the lovers of literature can also be active creatively and academically. As we know that Shakespeare occupies a unique position in the world of literature, let's talk about some little known facts about him. Shakespeare invented over 2000 words throughout his writing career. These words include many that we use in everyday life. Common words like assassination, critical, excellent, countless are all words born out of Shakespeare's creativity mind. There are 80 variations in the spelling of his name. Nobody knows which one is correct. Initially, the grave of the bard showed him holding a bag of grains, but now it shows him holding a pen. Some of the planet Uranus's moons are named after the characters in Shakespearean plays. His plays were never published during his lifetime. They were all published posthumously. In the year 1623, John Hemmings and Henry Condell compiled 36 of Shakespeare's plays in a volume under the title First Folio. Shakespeare turned to sonnet only after the theatres were shut due to plague. There are 13 suicides in total in all of his plays. Last but not the least, two of his plays are written completely in verse, namely Richard II and King John. I would like to hand over the meeting to Simran to give a brief agenda of today's event.
Thank you, Preeti. So here is the brief agenda of the event. We have divided the whole event into two phases. In the first phase, we are going to present some beautiful creations of Shakespeare in animation, recitation, and narration form. And in the second phase, we have the poets of our department who will be presenting their own content. So let's begin. Shakespearean play contains references to witches, witchcraft, fairies, magic, ghosts, spirits, and prophecies. The three weird sisters meeting Macbeth in the initial part of the play is perhaps the most prominent and the most famous of all. They are seen in the very beginning of this tragedy, and so will we start our meeting with a fun animation of the first scene of Macbeth. And the voices of the animation are Ms. Sanskruti, Ms.Prarthana, and Ms. Shivani.
When shall we three meet again in thunder, lightning, or in day? When the festival is done, when the battle is lost and won, as in the earth, the set of sun, where the place on the heat, there to meet with Macbeth. At sun, I rise, bad of course, and on. There is foul, and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air. There is foul, and foul is fair. Hover through fog and filthy air.
Thank you, seniors. And here I would like to thank Mr. Arpan Kumar Nayak. He is the creator of this animation. Preeti, carry on.
That was really creative. Thank you, seniors. Before proceeding any further, I would like to say that among the sonnets which we have picked, some of the sonnets are very famous and some which are not that popular. But when we went through those, we felt like that they should also be praised. I would like to invite my senior, Ms. Lipsa Pujari, to recite Sonnet 71.
Thank you, Preeti. Good morning, one and all present over here. I'm going to recite Sonnet 71. No longer mourn for me when I am dead. Then you shall hear the surely sullen bell give warming to the world that I am fled. From this vile world with vilest worms to dwell. Nay, if you read this line, remember not the hand that read it, for I love you so, that I in your sweet thoughts would be forgot. If thinking on me then should make you woe, oh, if I say you look upon this verse, when I perhaps compounded am with clay, Do not so much as my poor name rehearse, but let your love even with my life decay, lest the wise world should look into your mourn, and mock you with me after I'm gone. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Lipsha. That was really a smooth recitation. Now, I would like to invite Miss Archana, and she will be presenting The Seven Stages of Man, a very famous monologue written by Shakespeare.
Thank you, Simran. Good morning to one and all present over here. Now I'm going to deliver one of the famous monologues of William Shakespeare, that is, All the World is a Stage. In All the World is a Stage, Shakespeare discusses the futility of humanity's place in the world. He explores themes of time, aging, memory, and the purpose of life. Shakespeare takes the reader through the stages of life, starting with infancy and childhood and ending up life with an old man who has been a lover, a soldier, and a judge. The man dies after reverting back to a state that is close to childhood and infancy. So let's move on to the text. All the world is a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exists and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. His acts bring 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the winning schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, shine like furnace with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. Then a soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good cap and lined, with eyes severe and beard of formal cut, with full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The sixth age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a wall too wide, for his shrunk shank and his big manly voice, turning again toward childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange eventful history, is the second childishness and mere oblivion. Saw teeth, saw eyes, saw taste, saw everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Archana, for your wonderful narration. Next, I would like to invite my senior, Ms. Subhasmita, to recite Sonnet 54.
Thank you, Preety. Now I am going to recite Sonnet 54, which is a part of the prolonged various sequence. So now, beginning with the recitation. Oh, how much more doth beauty beauteous seem by that sweet ornament which truth doth keep. The rose looks sad, but fairer we it deem, for that sweet odor which doth in it leap. The canker blooms have full as deep a dye as the perfumed tincture of the roses. Hang on such thorns and play each wantonly, when summer's breath their masked buds discloses. But for their virtue only if they are so, they live unwooed and unrespected faith. Die to themselves, sweet roses do not sow. Of their sweet dates are sweetest odors made. And so of you, beauteous and lovely youth, when that shall fade, my verse distills your truth. Thank you.
Thank you. It's time to invite Beenalaxmi Bag with another famous dialogue from the play Macbeth, Out Out Brief Candle.
Thank you, Preety. Good morning to all present over here. My name is Beenalaxmi Bag, student of PG first year, and I am going to recite one of the most famous soliloquies in William Shakespeare's tragedy Macbeth. Macbeth, the protagonist of the play, who is now racked with guilt and paranoia for his greedy ambition, immoral, and unthinkable acts. His victim's ghost is haunting him. His guilt is torturing him. His wife has gone mad, and now he has just heard that she has committed suicide. At this moment, his suffering is intense and becoming unbearable. He delivers the soliloquy as a response to the news of his wife's death. It is a short piece of verse that sums up not only the weariness of life, but the whole philosophy of life and its futility. The passage is full of meaning, and this is so much one can say about it, and it captures perfectly the state of mind of the speaker. There is no wonder it is one of the most famous passages ever written in the history of English literature. So, here I begin. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in petty pace from day to day to the last level of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle, lights but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hand upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Beenalaxmi, for your engaging narration. Next, I would like to invite my senior, Ms. Subhalaxmi, to recite Sonnet 116.
Thank you, Preeti. Good morning to everyone. I'll recite Sonnet 116, in which Shakespeare portrays love. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love, which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bug, whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not times full, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickles compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the age of doom. If this be error and openly proved, if this be error and openly proved, I never write, nor no man ever loved. Thanks to all.
Thank you, Ms. Shubhalakshmi. Now I would invite Ms. Pragya to deliver the mercy speech spoken by Portia in the play The Merchant of Venice.
Thank you, Simran. Good morning, one and all present here. I'll be reciting Portia's Spirit of Mercy speech. Here, Portia argue that mercy is better than justice. She says it is not strained. According to her, the more power a person has, the more mercy is a credit to his or her character. So here I go with Portia's dialogue. Portia, the quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven. Upon the place beneath it is twice blessed. It blesseth him that gives and him that takes. Its mightiest in the mightiest it becomes, the throned monarch better than his crown. His sceptre shows the force of temporal power, the attribute to awe and majesty wherein doth sit the dread and fear of kings. But mercy is above this sceptred sway. It is enthroned in the heart of kings. It is an attribute to God Himself. And earthly power doth then show likest gods when mercy sees injustice. Therefore, Jew, though justice be thy plea, consider this, that in the course of justice none of us should see salvation. We do pray for mercy, and that same prayer doth teach us all to render the deeds of mercy. I have spoke thus much to mitigate the justice of thy plea, which if thou follow the strict court of Venice must need give sentence against the merchant there. Thank you.
We could really hear Portia speaking through your voice. Thank you, Ms.Pragya. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Shherya Adhikari to recite Sonnet 17.
Thank you, Preeti. Good morning, everyone present here, and I am going to recite Sonnet 17. Who will believe my verse in time to come, if it were filled with your most high deserts? Though yet, heaven knows, it is but as a tomb, which hides your life and shows not half your arts. If I could write the beauty of your eyes, and in fresh numbers Number all your graces. The age to come would say, this poet lies. Such heavenly touches ne'er touched earthly faces. So should my papers, yellowed with their age, be scorned like old men of less truth than tongue, and your true rights be termed a poet's rage, and stretched meter of an antique song. But was some child of yours alive that time? You should live twice, in it and in my rhyme. Thank you.
Thank you, Shreya. Now, the next dialogue to be presented is one of the most famous dialogues ever written. It is used in our daily conversations most often. I would invite Ms. Aishwarya over the mic to speak the famous monologue "To Be or Not to Be."
Thank you, Preeti. To Be or Not to Be is a famous soliloquy from the play Hamlet from Act 3rd, Scene 1 by William Shakespeare. Here Hamlet discusses how painful and miserable human life is. He questions the value of human life, whether it's worthwhile to live or should he die. Doubt and uncertainty, life and death serves to be the major themes of this soliloquy. Hamlet. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether it's nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to say, we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. It's the consummation devotedly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there is the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. There is the respect that makes calamity of so long life. For who would bear the whips and scorns of time, the oppressor's wrong, the proud man's contumely, the pangs of despised love, and the law's delay, the insolence of office, the spawns that the patience of merit of the unworthy takes, when he himself might his fighters make with a bare-bought kin? Who would fraddle, bear to grunt and sweat under a very life, but that the dread of something after death that undiscovers the country from whose bound no travellers return, puzzles the will and makes us rather bear those ills we have, than fly to others that we know not of. Thus conscience doth make cowards of us all, and thus the native year of resolution is supplied over with a pale cast of thought, and enterprises of great faith and moment. With this regard, their currents turn a vary, and lose the name of action. Thank you.
Thank you, my senior, for your fantastic narration. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Banita to recite Sonnet 138.
Thank you, Preeti. Good morning, everyone present here. I'll be reciting Sonnet 138 entitled When My Love Swears That She Is Made of Truth, which shows an understanding of the nature of truth and flattery in any kind of romantic relationship. Beginning with the sonnet, when my love swears that she is made of truth, I do believe her, though I know she lies, that she might think me some untutored youth, unlearned in the world's false subtleties, thus vainly thinking that she thinks me young, although she knows my days are past the best. Simply, I credit her false speaking tongue on both sides, thus is simple truth appraised. But people says she not, she is unjust, and people say not I that I am old. Oh, love's best habit is in seeming just, and is in love, loves not to have years told. Therefore, I live with her, and she with me, and in our faults, by lies we gladly be. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. The next soliloquy that is to be presented by Vishal is a very powerful and a meaningful one. It is a vast ocean of philosophies and reason. I invite Vishal with the epilogue from Tempest spoken by Prospero.
Greetings, everyone. Today I'll be reciting the epilogue of the play Tempest by William Shakespeare. Now, this particular epilogue is often interpreted to be Shakespeare's last message to us, the audience. So I'll begin. Now my charms are all overthrown, and what strength I have is mine own, which is most faint. Now, 'tis true, I must be here confined by you, or sent to Naples, let me not, since I have my dukedom got, and pardon the deceiver. Dwell in this bare island by your spell, but release me from my bands with the help of your good hands. Gentle breath of yours my sails must feel, or else my project fails, which was to please. Now I want spirit to enforce, art to enchant, and my ending is despair, unless I be relieved by prayer, which pierces so that it assaults mercy itself and frees all faults. As you from crimes would pardon be, let your indulgence set me free. Thank you.
Thank you, Vishal. That was really a very powerful narration. Next, I invite Preeti, my co-host, to recite Sonnet 18.
Thank you, Simran. Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling birds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his gold complexion dimmed, and every fair from fair sometimes declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So so long as men can breathe, or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Thank you.
Thank you, Preeti.
Mark Antony's speech from the play Julius Caesar is considered as one of the most powerful monologue. I would like to invite my senior Mr. Bhushan to present the speech of Mark Antony.
Good morning, everyone. I am dealing with Mark Antony's funeral oration in Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. This oration publicly reveals Antony's stance against Caesar's assassin and shows Roman public in his favor, making a turning point in the play. So here it is. Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ears. I come to bury Caesar, not to praise him. The evils that men do lives are there. The good is oft interred with their bones. So, like be with Caesar. The noble Brutus hath told you, Caesar was ambitious. If it were so, it was a grievous thought, and graciously hath Jesus answered it. Here, under the lips of Brutus and rest. Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men? Come I to speak in Caesar's funeral. He was my friend, faithful, and just to me. But Brutus says he was ambitious, and Brutus is an honorable man. He had brought many captives home to Rome, whose ransom did the general governor feel. Did this in Caesar's ambitious? When that people have cried, Caesar has wept. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Yet Protest says he was ambitious and sure he is an honorable man. You all did see that on your circle. I thrice presented him a kingly crown, which he did thrice refuse. Was this ambition? Yet, Buddha says he was ambitious and sure he is an honorable man. I speak not to discuss what spoke, but here I am to speak what I do know. You all did love him once, not without cause. What cause withholds you that? To mourn for him? Oh, judgment. Thou art flat brought and man have lost their vision. Bear with me. Bear with me. My heart is in the coffin there with Caesar. And I must pause till it come back to me. Yes, I must pause to come back to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bhushan, for your evocative and fantastic narration. This is a beautiful sketch of William Shakespeare made by Manish, the student of UG first year BA B.Ed. Thank you, Manish, for this beautiful painting. Over to you, Simran.
As briefed in the agenda, we have already arrived to the end of our first phase. And now, because we are simultaneously celebrating English Day, we are going to present some original poetries written by the poets of our department. So first of all, I would call Ms.Prarthana for recitation.
Thank you, Simran. So, apple, since time immemorial, has been a symbol that represents sin. And the poem that follows is named so, written by me, and it describes one's deepest, darkest yearning for the forbidden. But the abyss seemed too iridescent. How could I not look at the porcelain cup luring me to death? Wine offered by Dionysus himself? You say I lost my good sense for my own fault, but when my gaze lied next to the apple, I never cared of losing him. But the thought of ripping my bones out seemed too alluring. How could I have stopped myself from stroking my skin in hopes of finding the senses everyone speaks of? But oh, those eyes sounded too worshipful. How could I not look into them before admiring the snake swirling around her shoulders? Sinking my teeth into the apple, stepping into the nothingness, something in me bursted. What it was, my senses or my reason, I do not know. For the rest was an abyss, and the abyss seemed very distant. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Prarthana, for your beautiful recitation. I would like to request my senior Ms. Sonali to recite her poem.
Good morning to one all present over here. My name is Sonali Godu of UG second year, and I'm going to recite an original poem titled Nirvana. And here it is. Closing eyes while listening the waves, there comes the tide of unremitting wild thoughts. To slumber the sleep, here comes the unbeaten guest, passively, slyly, onto the mind. With its enchanting power, it intoxicates me, makes me forgetful of hardships that dawn melancholy. On a pearly cloud, through the dingy night sky, it takes me to an ethereal duel. With its splendor, it marvels me. It becomes my escape route, my genie, where all my wishes are fulfilled, where I can embrace my past and future together, bring people of my memories to life. Yes, to life. Laugh, smile, bust a gut, roar with intensity, cry, fly, where there is no period to my imaginations. Like a sandcastle, It can be built and then washed away. It is my reflection, the mirror of my soul. You call it dreams, but for me, it is nirvana. Thank you.
That was a very beautiful recitation. Next poet is Anvesha. So, Anvesha, I request you to recite your poem.
Good morning, one and all present over here. I am going to present a poem written by me titled Life Won't Let It. What if the time goes the way we dream, the way we aspire, the way we want, the way we desire? But it is life, it will interfere. What if things happen felicitous to us, fantabulous to us, prosperous to us, and advantageous to us? But it is life, it will interfere. What if all the framed ambitions come true, aspirations come true, speculations come true? But alas, it is life. It will interfere. It is life. It will interfere. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Anvesha, for your wonderful recitation. Next, I would like to invite my senior, Miss Sanskruti Pujari, to recite her poem.
Thank you, Preeti. So the title of my poem is Eliot's April in 1922 and My Enigmatic Lover. My poem has been inspired by Eliot's Wasteland, since all of us know that the first line of Wasteland was April is the cruelest month. And we cannot disagree with that. Our April in 2021 is even crueler than Eliot's was. But still, we have all managed to find some hope. So that is what my poem is about. Here I start. I met you at the dawn of spring this year, the world crawling in and out of a pandemic, when chaos blossomed instead of flowers and confusion ripened instead of mangoes. As isolation and quarantine became normalized, we found company in each other's solitude. Nowadays, I'm happy even when I'm angry. I don't know how you do that. It baffles me. How you juggle me up into a myriad of feelings, all of them being extremely overwhelming. At one point, you're just like a tiny butterfly, whose flutter is quieter than a wee whisper. At other times, you bumble just like a bee, spreading joy like you'll never run out of it. And I just keep smiling like a smitten fool, for nothing really annoys me about you. I could stare at you for an eternity and a half, and listen to all the words that you can utter, all the while keeping account of your breaths. That grin on your face that you often hide behind all the broodiness of a tiring day. I would love to see that sparkle in your eyes. From the deafening silence, it's a sweet escape. I would love to giggle with you every night and pull off any bloody shenanigan that exists. This spring has been crueler than Eliot's, I know. The distance isn't helping. There's death in the air. But two of the best things about April 2021? Late night shenanigans and you, my love. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Sanskruti, for your mesmerizing recitation. Next, I would like to request my senior to hand over the program.
Thank you, Preeti. So before we conclude the program, I would like to thank and request our Vice Chancellor, Sir, to give his valuable remark and comments regarding the event. Sir.
Yeah, I think I was listening with rapt attention to some of the recitations and particularly the poems. I think, you are happy even when you are angry, I think Sanskriti did well. That was a good poem by Sanskriti and others. It's very encouraging to see many of the students writing poems and reciting excerpts from Shakespeare, and it's very encouraging. Unlike the usual seminars, this is something different. I personally enjoyed. I don't know how Anjali Tripathy, Simran Tripathy, and our Panigrahi, and all these people are haven't seen them speak, but I would like them to say a word or two on this occasion. But why not one of you could have, could be speaking on English Language Day, the importance of it, Why this day is celebrated as English Language Day? What was the reason? It's one of the UN languages, one of the 6 UN languages, So when you celebrate English, it's not that you are celebrating only English. UN encourages all the 6 languages to be celebrated on 6 different days, right from Arabic, Spanish, French, Chinese, all these 6 languages. But the important point to be noted here is why 6 languages are spoken. And for us, because, for good or bad, we have English has been part of our cultural and intellectual journey. We have been celebrating English, but there are countries which celebrate the French Day, Spanish Day, particularly the Latin American countries. And you have, Arabic Day. A lot of countries celebrate Arabic Day. But why celebrate this? The main point is when we celebrate several language days, it only tells us that this world has several languages. And when a person learns several languages, when a person respects several languages, he will develop a sense of tolerance. He will develop a sense of, communication with neighboring linguistic communities, neighboring linguistic states, neighboring linguistic nations. And the world tolerance and such values are important for a world to live in harmony. That is one of the reasons why UN celebrates, Language Day. And for us, this is English Day. And we celebrate English Day not just because of English language, but because mostly for Shakespeare. Anyway, I will not take away the pleasure of listening to such beautiful poems. I just was wondering, in English, School of English, only students write poems, or the teachers also write poems? Sometimes teachers write poems, but they don't recite or they don't tell. If there is any English teacher in the department who writes poems, I would be very happy if he shares with us. I look forward to a couple of their comments from the English teachers too. Okay, but I think I will not speak more, but let me compliment all the students. They were very encouraging and very, such enthusiasm, the kind of enthusiasm they have shown. Welcome, and I look forward to their, participation in greater scale. Let's do 1 or 2 lectures on Shakespeare also, if possible. All right, Dr. Anjali, you are there? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I think I will stop here. And your students are quite, you should tap and give them more scope to express themselves. I think they are very, very, enthusiastic. All right. You should give them more scope to express themselves. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Huh?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. So before we proceed, I'd like to state that all students are free to share their remarks in the chat box. Now, I would like to request Sambit Panigrahi, sir, to give his remark and comments regarding the event. Sir. Sir.
Oh, sorry. I think I had by mistake stopped my microphone. Anyway, thank you very much, esteemed Vice Chancellor, sir, esteemed head of the department, Madam Dr. Anjali Tripathy, and my dear colleagues and students. It was really an enlightening experience for me to listen to such wonderful recitations of poems and such wonderful excerpts from, Shakespearean texts. In fact, some of the dialogues were forgotten, and it was a refreshing of the whole scenario. And our memory was refreshed, and it was such a delightful experience, because and so it was quite encouraging that some of the students recited beautiful poems. And as esteemed vice chancellors have pointed out, that it's amazing the kind of talents that we have amongst our students, and it's really an encouraging experience, for all of us, because learning, there is never an end to the process of learning, and we all keep learning. We're all students of the department. In fact, not teachers. I would like to say that we're all students of the department. And yes, and Shakespearean studies have taken different turns, in different periods of time, and I can be reminded of, uh, you know, uh, a book by Christopher Norris entitled Post-Structural Shakespeare. So, Shakespearean studies have taken multiple, twists and turns with the progress of time, and people have looked at them from multiple critical perspectives that have evolved with time. Like, for instance, post-structural studies. When post-structuralism evolved with the critical discourse, then people started looking at Shakespeare and started entitling, looking at Shakespeare as post-structural Shakespeare. So Shakespeare never ceases to be, an area of study. As time evolves, as the time goes on, and new critical paradigms, new critical thinkings evolve, then multiple interpretations, new interpretations do evolve, with time. So Shakespeare never dies. Shakespeare is always, the Shakespearean studies never die, and Shakespeare is always with us, will continue to remain with us with multiple new evolving forms, multiple new evolving critical interpretations. And so I'd not like to speak much, beyond this. And I'd just like to thank all the students, thank all, the dignitaries, all participants, and I'm sorry if I'm missing some name, but I'd like to profusely thank all of you for, creating such a wonderful ambience, creating such a wonderful atmosphere for all of us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you, sir. Next, I request Dr. P. Muralidhar Shaarma, sir, to speak a few words. Sir.
Hello, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning, Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, esteemed Deputy Registrar, Head of the Department, and my dear colleagues and students. I thoroughly enjoyed the event, in fact, and part of the surprise for me is already gone because I planned the event along with you. So maybe I'm less surprised than the others at your skills. But again, one thing that comes as a very big surprise to me is the participation and enthusiasm of our undergraduate first year students, right, whom we have not met physically yet. So this kind of involvement, even when they are not, they have not come in contact with us physically in the classroom, is amazing. So I look forward to all, the interactions in the classroom as well. Now, one thing that we must remember when we are talking about Shakespeare is, of course, we are celebrating Shakespeare's birth anniversary, but at the same time, there is a necessity, as Sambit sir has already hinted, there's a necessity to deconstruct the entire idea of Shakespeare. Now, Shakespeare is not just an author for us anymore. He's a phenomenon, right? So it's there's a host of critics who are writing, who are producing works. There's recent work on Shakespeare, and this process never ends actually. So there's work which looks at race, gender, and other questions in Shakespeare, right? So there's a necessity to look at Shakespeare from this perspective as well. Along with that, we must also ask why we are doing Shakespeare. So who is Shakespeare? Why Shakespeare, right? So there's an entire school of theory, the anti-Stratfordians, who argue that there was nobody called Shakespeare and his plays were attributed to him only because of certain stigmas about playwriting at that time. And I keep mentioning this movie called Anonymous, which I had expected one of you to talk about, but that was missing in the event. Right. One aspect, that was completely overlooked was Shakespeare and cinema. Somebody should have talked about representation of Shakespeare in cinema or cinematic adaptations of his plays, Indian adaptations of his plays. That aspect was completely missing. I was looking forward to that. I was waiting till the end, expecting somebody to talk about that. But yeah, still, I enjoyed the event thoroughly, and I expect that in the classes we'll make a more thorough, critical engagement with Shakespeare. Right, and this process always continues; it never ends. Thank you once again, everyone, for smoothly organizing the event and managing it so well. All the best.
Thank you, sir. Moving forward, I request Head of the Department, Dr. Anjali Tripathy, ma'am, to conclude the event with a vote of thanks. Ma'am.
Thank you, Aishwarya. Good morning, everyone. Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, esteemed Dr. Kamdev Sahu, sir, the respected Deputy Registrar, sir, dear colleagues and beloved students. We all know that Shakespeare has invaded the hearts of millions of literature lovers and has even stayed with the common masses without their awareness. He has been credited with myriad quotes that have ingrained into our everyday existence. We take delight in uttering Shakespearean lines like, "What is in a name?" from Romeo and Juliet, or "All the world is a stage" from As You Like It, or "If music with the food of love lay on" from Twelfth Night, or "Cards die many times before their death" from Julius Caesar, or "Frailty, thy name is woman" from Hamlet, or "I am the one who loved not wisely but too well" from Othello, and numerous others. I would not go for critical remarks today. Just I want to thank all my students who endeavored to cheer us with their positivity during these hard times. And I am thankful to all the young, enthusiastic minds who poured their hearts today and made our day. Thank you for the beautiful program, and I'm proud of you all. I'm grateful to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir, who is the guiding force behind all our efforts. And I believe that we can build our department together under his mentorship. I'm also thankful to Dr. Kamdev Sahu, sir, and our Deputy Registrar, Dr. Ms. Pati, sir, who have always supported and encouraged us. And I must also mention and thank the enthusiastic GMUNs who went live on Facebook with this event. Thank you everyone for joining us. Adieu till we meet for the next event. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you everyone for joining us. It
Hello,
was
hello.
indeed a yes,
Just
sir.
Dr. Anjali, when is the next event and what is the next event? Maybe you can make a small announcement. Huh?
Okay, so we are planning, we'll announce it very soon, sir.
Okay, I look forward to that. I look forward
Thank
to
you
that.
so much. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you everyone for joining us. It was indeed a great pleasure to have you all here. Thank you.